What's up YouTube, this is BoxingNetX79 guys. Today I'm coming to you with my latest deck profile video for April 2021, and today guys we're looking at my Harpy Lady deck. Now, with the reprints of a lot of the Harpy support that came out in the Legendary Duelist set earlier this year, I thought it would be a good idea to just pick up the support and try to stick out. And I can tell you right now, the deck is actually pretty fun to play. Wing deck that can actually synchro summon, exceed summon, link summon, can do all that, can lock your opponent out of special summoning, can hold them down without being able to use monster effects for an entire turn. This deck's got a lot of good things going for it. And I can tell you right now, it's fun to play, it's easy to learn, so this is definitely a deck that I would suggest older player coming back into the game to learn, because it is a legacy deck and you're going to get a kick out of all this support. So without further ado, we're jumping right into this. Okay, first out of the gate we have 3 copies of Harpy Channeler. This is one of the 2 Harpy cards you want to be seeing in your opening hand. Channeler, in my opinion, is the better of the 2. That's just my personal opinion. She's got 2 awesome effects. The first effect allows you to pitch any Harpy card from your hand to the graveyard, whether it be monster, spell, or trap, and you get to special summon a Harpy monster from your deck onto your field in defense position. Also, if you have a face-up dragon-type monster on the field, Channeler's effect activates and changes her level into level 7, which can come into play when we're talking about other monsters' effects, or even spell effects as well. Alright, she helps you get started, helps you build your field. Next up is 3 copies of Harpy Perfumer. Harpy Perfumer, when she is summoned, she gets to search your deck for any spell or trap card that mentions Harpy Lady Sisters, which is awesome. If you happen to control a Harpy monster that's level 5 or higher, you get to add 2 cards instead of just 1, which is even better. So that's the whole reason why I mentioned that thing with Channeler's level modification there. You can get 2 searches, which is actually very awesome. And just being able to get into your pieces allows you to extend a little bit better. So definitely, you can start your combos off of Perfumer, but like I said, I prefer Channeler. But both of these cards are great. The other Harpy card we're running 3 of is one of 3 copies of Harpy. Harpist is awesome. I like opening Harpist with Channeler because that discard effect allows you to utilize Harpist's in-graveyard effect, where you're basically searching your deck for another Wing Beast monster to add into your hand, which is awesome. While she's normal summoned, you could target another Harpy monster you control as well as one of your opponent's monsters and bounce them back to the hand, so you get that compulsory evacuation device effect, which is very useful in this particular deck for busting up boards. Alright. Last but not least, we are running Harpy Oracle. Oracle, when she summons, allows you to get a spell or trap card that mentions Harpy Lady Sisters in its text back from your graveyard into your hand, which is awesome. She can also be a free summon if you control a level 5 or higher Harpy monster on the field. So definitely keep that in mind, because these extra summons really do help out in tight situations. So with that situation, we got those are the newer Harpy support. One other thing I want to mention before I move on to some of the older stuff. All the newer Harpy Ladies, they count as Harpy Lady while on the field and in the graveyard. This just helps with a lot of these support cards that were released beforehand as well. So definitely good effects to have. Now to some more classic support. We have 2 copies of Harpy Lady. This is a retrain of the original Harpy Lady. When she's face up on the field, she has a continuous effect that basically power boosts all winner tripping monsters by 300 attack. Game 2, you get all your monsters get 600 attack. You add the field spell, there's going to be 800 attack power boost, which is actually pretty good. And that's primarily what I use her for, to power boost the monsters on my field. Next up, Harpy Lady Queen. Typically, we're not summoning her, we're using her for effect to discard to search your deck for the field spell Harpy's Hunting Ground. But if you do summon her, level 4, 1900 attack, not bad. Now to go into a synchro engine I have in this deck, I'm running the Wind Witch alongside of it. We have Wind Witch, Ice Bell. She's another great starter card, primarily because you can summon her right from your hand to the field without having to worry about having other monsters on the field, which is great. On summon, she allows you to special summon another Wind Witch monster from your deck right to the field, which is very awesome. And not only that, she can hit your opponent for 500 points of effect damage, knocking down their life points, allowing you to get you closer to that win condition. Just be careful with her because she does lock you into summoning level 5 or higher wind synchro monsters from your extra when you summon her through her special summoning. But thanks to the new Harpy Synchro, you can actually play around that. So, very cool. The monster you want to be summoning off of Ice Bell's effect is Wind Witch Glass Bell. On summon, she searches another Wind Witch monster set for herself to your hand. Very cool. She does, on her own, she does lock you into summoning just winds, which really isn't that much of an issue there. She is a level 4 tuner, and combining her with Glass Bell can get you into, or Glass Bell with Ice Bell can get you into your level 7 synchros and then build into level 8 synchros by utilizing Wind Witch Snowbell. Snowbell can special summon itself when you have 2 wind monsters on the field. Very awesome. And any synchro monster made by using this guy as a material becomes immune to being destroyed by your opponent's card effects, which means a problematic monster can become even more problematic just by using this guy as a turner. So, very, very useful. Some generic support to help this deck out. We have 2 copies of Wind, the Wind Channeler. Discard this and you're searching your deck for any Wind attribute monster you need, whether it be the Wind Witches or the Harpy cards in your deck. Lastly, we have 1 copy of Barrier Statue of the Storm Winds. Typically, we're summoning this card out of the deck using some more the Bird of Divinity's effect during the end phase. When this card's face up on the field, neither player can special summon anything but Wind attribute monsters, and that can be very problematic, especially against a lot of the other meta decks that are out there. Alright. To help deal with other decks, we have 3 copies of Ash Blossom Joyous Spring, help stop searching. And for those combo decks, we too have Nibiru to take away their fields by tripping them all off. An interesting little play I discovered with this particular deck, especially when it comes out with Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, is that you can actually trip it off your opponent's field, special summon a token in attack position, put this guy in defense. They'll probably going to attack over your monster. That'll free up your field, allowing you to go into your Wind Witch combo, which will end with Crystal Wing Synchro. And with Crystal Wing Synchro's effect, you can actually attack over that token. So, very little interesting strategy there. That came when I was testing this deck. Alright, on to the spells. We have 1 copy of Alluring Mirror Split. Alluring Mirror Split is a continuous spell that basically allows you to replace your Harpy Lady with another Harpy Lady from your deck when it's destroyed. So if one of your Harpies gets destroyed, you replace it with another one. And if this card ever gets popped itself, you get a Harpy Lady special summon back to your field in defense position out of the graveyard, which is awesome. It does contain Harpy Lady Sisters in its text, so it's searchable off of Perfumer's effect. 2 copies of Elegant Incutus, because this is a Harpy deck, and this is a great way of getting Harpies out of your deck onto your field real fast. Searchable by Perfumer, so definitely worth it. 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, helps deal with back row, heavy decks, because they are a thing. 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Rest. Feather Rest is like a mini part of Harvest for the Harpy monsters. Get to recycle 3 Harpy monsters with different names from your graveyard back into your deck. Draw a card. If you have a monster that's a Harpy monster that's level 5 or higher, you get to draw 2 cards. Very awesome. Next up, Harpy's Hunting Ground. Power boosts all Wind attribute monsters by 200, and whenever you summon a Harpy monster onto your field, you're popping spell and trap cards off the field, so it could be very useful against back row heavy decks, and you can even pop your own stuff, which does give you benefits. And 3 copies of Hysteric Sign. On activation, you're getting Elegant Egotist out of your deck or back from your graveyard to your hand. Very useful. And if this card is ever popped and sent to the graveyard during that turn, you get to search your deck and add 3 Harpy cards from your deck to your hand. It doesn't matter what they are. It could be monsters, spells, and traps. You get one of each if you want to help you get resources to actually build a better hand and get you into a better field. So very useful. Next up, 3 copies of Harpy Feather Storm. This is pretty much the best card in the entire archetype. You need to control a Wind Wing Beast monster to activate it, but when you do, it pretty much negates every monster effect your opponent's going to try to activate during that turn, allowing you to build your field protected, or even just interfere with your opponent's turn altogether. Also, if you control a Harpy monster on the field, you can activate this card right from your hand, so it does act as a 6th, 7th, and 8th hand trap. Last but not least, to round out the main deck, we have 2 copies of Hysteric Party. Brings back as many Harpies as you need back to the field, and from there you're basically going to go into your Synchro plays, your Xyz plays, or your Link plays. So you don't really have to worry about your opponent targeting this card and destroying it, because those monsters are probably not going to be remaining on the field for that long regardless. Okay, so that's the main deck. On to the extra. 2 copies of Cyber Slash Harpy Lady. Again, just like the newer support, counts as Harpy Lady on the field and in the graveyard. Has a quick effect during the turn. Either player's turn, when a spell or trap card is activated, you can target one of your opponent's monsters and basically get that compulsory evacuation device effect and bounce that card right off the field into the hand. So very useful in this regards. Next up we have 2 level 7s. Synchros, primarily in here for the Windwitch engine. We have Windwitch Winterbelt as well as Clearwing Synchro Dragon. I like Clearwing in this deck primarily for its effect negation. If you don't like Clearwing, there's always the Wind attribute at Ignister Synchro Monster you can use in this place. It also has a graveyard activation where you can actually banish it and get another compulsory evacuation device effect. But an extra monster effect isn't that bad. Winterbell here hits your opponent for 200 times the level of a targeted Windwitch monster in your graveyard. Typically, you want to go with Glass Bell, which is a level 4, and hit your opponent with 800. And after that, you synchro off with Snowbell to go into your Crystal Wing, make it immune to card effects, and it also has monster effect negation built in, and has the ability, when it attacks a level 5 or higher monster, to add that monster's attack to its own, and then basically swing over it. Which is why I mentioned that little strategy with Nibiru before. Because of Stormwind, the majority of the Xyz monsters are wind attributes. Castel, one material can flip a card face down on your opponent's field. 2 materials, you get a compulsory evacuation device effect. Legosta Emerald, another way to get monsters recycled back into your deck and draw a card. Lightning Tajori can spin a set card back to your bottom of your opponent's deck, and then using its effect can spin a face-up card back to the top of your opponent's deck, so you can help break up fields. Tornado Dragon, quick effect that can pop back row. And then in case Stormwind does get run over, I am running the Utopia package primarily because it can be an additional win con for the deck, just being able to get lightning up big and swinging over monsters. For the links, 2 copies of Harpy Conductor. Again, Harpy Lady on the field and in the graveyard. If one of your Harpy Ladies would be destroyed by battle or a card effect, you can actually destroy a spell or trap card that you control instead. Very useful to set off Hysteric Sign's effect, or even Alluring Mirror Split. And also, if one of your Harpies is sent back to the hand, you can target one of your opponent's special summon monsters and send that back to their hand as well. So, all around, very useful effects. we have one copy of the Wind Charmer Verdant. On summon, you're stealing a Wind Attribute monster from your graveyard, so a pretty good card to use against virtual worlds. If this card is ever destroyed, you're getting a Wind Attribute monster from your deck added to your hand that has 1500 or less defense, and that's pretty much every single Wind Attribute monster you're running. Okay, and last but not least, we have some more the Bird of Sovereignty. I mentioned this with the Stormwind's Barrier statue. You special summon winged beast monsters from your hand or your deck during both players' end phase, which is awesome, so you can actually lock on your opponent during your end phase with Stormwind, and then during your opponent's end phase, you can actually get other winged beast monsters onto the field to help set up for your next turn. It protects itself as well as anything it points to, so they can't be targeted by card effects or destruction effects. Very useful. And to be very awesome, it's a pretty beefy bird, so definitely with the power boost that Harpy Lady 1 and the field spell can give it, it can get pretty big, so definitely worth having in your deck. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk you through a simple combo. This combo, of course, is going to be if we're going first, and your opponent doesn't have any hand traps in hand. I just want to show you what this deck can really do as you go on. So let's just take a look at the first hand. So we start off with Harpy Queen, Hysteric Sign. That's a very good combo right there because the field spell can pop this and get you additional cards. Channeler, great. One of our starters. Harpist, the perfect discard fodder for Channeler. And then we have the Wind Channeler. So, very good. So, first things first, what I'm going to do, since I'm going first, we could probably get a negation on the board first. So I'm going to activate Wind. By discarding her to the graveyard, what I'm going to do is that allows me to get into my Wind Witch. Ice Spell. Okay. And in fact, since I have no monsters in the field, I can special summon Ice Spell. Both of Ice Spell's effects activate, since they're both ifs and they're optionals, allowing me to summon out Glass Spell and hit my opponent with 500 attack, 500 damage, 4, and then Glass Spell's effect activates, allowing me to add Snowbell to my hand, and since I have 2 Wind Attribute monsters, I can get this out onto the field right away. From this point, I can just synchro off. We're only allowed to synchro summon right now because of Ice Spell's effect, but we could bring out Winter Bell, which will hit your opponent for 800 points of damage, and then from there we're just going to synchro off again and grab Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Okay, now it's immune to being destroyed by card effects. I'm going to keep it over here in the corner. Okay, so now this was the 5th summon, so if your opponent did have maybe having the Bureau in hand, they wouldn't be able to use it because Crystal Wing can just negate it. For next, we have the Harpy Shenanigans to come our way, so I'm going to start off by discarding the Queen. This is going to allow us to get the field spell. Okay, which is right here. We're going to activate this. Okay, this is going to power boost all Wind Attribute monsters by 200 attack. Next up, we're going to activate Hysteric Sign. Hysteric Sign is going to allow us to get into an Elegant Egotist to add to our hand. So we have that all set up. Alright, next we're going to normal summon out Channeler. Channeler will activate the field spell, which will pop Hysteric Sign, allowing us to get into some more support. I'm going to add a Featherstorm. Feather Rest and Feather Duster into my hand just to help set up for next turn as well as extend during our current turn. Alright, with that being said, we're going to activate Channeler's effect, discarding Harpist. This is going to allow us to get Perfumer onto the field. And thanks to Channeler being now level 5 or higher, we can actually get 2 searches off of Perfumer, allowing us to add 2 cards with Harpy Lady Sisters in its name into our hand. So I'm going to add yet another Elegant Egotist as well as the Alluring Mirror Split. So far, so good. Next, we're going to take one of the Elegant Egotists, activate it, target either of the Harpy cards, and we're going to get Oracle. Oracle hits the field. Oracle's effect activates, allowing us to get Egotist back into the hand. Alright, move this out of the way. We're going to activate Egotist again because it's not a hard once per turn. And this is going to allow us to bring out Harpy Lady 1, which is going to power boost all our monsters by an additional 300. So all the Wind Trooping monsters should be getting 500 points of extra attack now. With that being said, we're only allowed synchros because of Wind Witch Glass Bell, so we're just going to take Perfumer and Oracle, because you can use any two Harpy monsters as synchro materials to bring out the Cyber Clash. Okay. Alright. Next, we're going to activate Harpy Feather Rest. Feather Rest is going to activate, allowing us to basically send 3 Harpy monsters back to our deck. So I'm going to send Oracle, Perfumer, and Queen back to the deck. And it's going to, because we have level 5 or higher Harpies in the field, we're going to draw 2 additional cards. We get a Perfumer and an Ash Blossom as our drawers. So not bad, not bad. And to further things along, what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate Alluring Mirror Split just in case my opponent attacks over Channeler. It's going to replace it with another Harpy card that's now back in the deck, allowing us to keep the board filled. And the next turn, we can actually further ourselves. Now, the way we can end our turn right here, we have 2 interruptions right now with Featherstorm and Ash Blossom in hand. If opponent sets back row, we have the Field Spell as well as Harpy's Feather Duster in hand. We have another Elegant Egotist and Perfumer in hand as well, so that's not bad. When we go to end phase, we also get that end phase search, so we can search out any Harpy we want. And my particular thing, I'll just add another Channeler, and that's what's going to be. We're going to end the turn with a total of 6 cards in our hand, which is not bad. And this is the end board with this using the Wind Witch. On the next turn, we can actually just turn around this utilized Channeler to get out more cards, climb into Conductor, use an Elegant Egotist to get an additional card out to get into the Smorg Link, and from there we can establish the lock as well. And potentially even have another Harpy Lady 1 on the field to power boost up to 800. Alright, so guys, that is it for this particular combo. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, give this video a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on my channel, make sure to subscribe, enable notifications so you don't miss any uploads. Check out the description box below. If you want to build this deck or an awesome side deck, check out sidedeckversus.com to really help you tune the deck into the meta so you can actually compete. And if you want to physically build this deck, check out my TCG Player affiliate link. Get the cards, all you need. Help support the channel. Check out my Discord server. Join the conversation. We'd love to have you. Follow me on social media. And as always, guys, until next time, peace.